Yeah guys, sorry for the delay and very good evening everyone and welcome to the session. So today's activity is related to advanced MITRE attack mapping, and you can say we can consider that is advanced MITRE attack detection. You can say there are two methodologies available for MITRE attack detection as well as mapping. So prior to this demo session, we'll just have a basic introduction about my company and myself, and we'll go towards this particular you can say course content. Okay, so let me start up about first about our company. Our company SIEM Intelligence is a leading IT security and training provider company, offers a wide range of courses and training in information and cyber security. So and we are one of the fast growing online information security trainer company based out of India. So we have a large number of professionals consider who are specialized and experienced in various cyber security domains. Consider they are specifically red teaming, blue teaming. You can say specialized in IDS, EER, XDR, NDR. There are various. So we have expertise in various security domains. Our inspectors, you say even our instructors hold a wide range of accreditations like OSCP, and they did OSC, SC. Most of them are CASSP, and you can say CASM and CASA expertise. And even me is one of the European Council certified person, and I did my CEH, NDA, NA, SA and LPT from European Council. So our active, you can say we have also one of the sister company called Hacktivist, is the most trusted and reliable training providers in information and cyber security, and providing exceptional unmatched hands-on practical training in red teaming. And the SIEM intelligence is exclusively into we are divided into two parts, that is one is red teaming as well as blue teaming. So considerably SIEM intelligence is more of blue teaming, and the Hacktivist that our sister companies, you can say we can consider that is towards red teaming. Okay, so and the prime goal of our this particular institution establishment is to make our India more cyber power. Okay, and our goal is to train, mentor and support in your career in specifically IT cyber security and across world, so that Indians should have a basic autonomy on their domain. See, we should be the most you can say statistical power across the world. Okay, as we are the software developers, the most software developers of you can say world is from India. Like we should be, you can say we should be the dominant power in terms of cyber security too. This is our goal. Okay. So and myself, just I'll give a brief introduction myself. So this is about myself. I am a postgraduate from in IT from PTU in 2007, holding accreditations like, see, I am basically from Linux background, most of them. See, I am an architect in Red Hat, ENSA, the TCSA, LPT from European Council, and latest I completed my CEI, that is certified instruction, you can say certified ethical instructor from you can say European Council, and I am a CASA, and I am advanced MITRE attack mapping, incident response, threat hunter. What, see, there are so many other accreditations, but so it's see something like I can't provide each and everything here. So something like, see, and what is my work experience? If you see here, I am a network and system administrator for a legacy network more than 5 years, where I have learned various services, various network configurations. I have seen so many legacy networks, I have seen so many services, more than 20 plus services where I have handled AD, DHCP, DNS, and I have seen so many something like web applications and web services, something like JBoss and LAMP, XAMPP, WAMP. There are so many basic application, Tomcat, Apache, and all those services I have handled more than 5 years. And then I shifted to cyber security, where I have handled you can say as a cyber security coordinator and a member of incident handling response team for a CERT, that is CERT, is a computer emergency response team. and I worked as a system and network log analyzer, where I handled Splunk specifically from network operations. See, that's for network operations center, and I worked as a SIEM administrator and operations manager, where I have handled incident management, threat hunting, MITRE attack mapping with respect to use case manager, and I have also handled you can say incident response related to various stages. See, there are so many stages across your MITRE, so I have handled all those things in a SOC, okay, as a SOC manager, and presently working as a Azure, that is cloud security mapping. That's what Azure and Exchange Reporter Plus of a, you can say, for a data center management, that is Manage Engine. So where I am handling the threat hunting as well as incident response, okay. And I used to take these kind of training sessions like various SIEM development technologies as well as MITRE ATT&CK frameworks and incident response, and you can say malware analysis since last 3 years, okay. This is my brief introduction, guys. We'll move towards our session, okay. So our course is called AMAD, that is CMAT certified MITRE ATT&CK framework, or you can say advanced MITRE attack detection, advanced MITRE attack protection. You can call anything, but the entire course main activities MITRE attack framework, how to handle a MITRE attack framework in a better manner, and what are the stages you have to handle, and what stage, what is the meaning of what stage. If you are at stage 1, if you are stage 14 according to the enterprise level and all, see, there are so many matrices we have to talk, okay. So we'll talk what is prior to this call, what is the scope of our course, where first we'll talk about what is cyber attack, basically what is cyber attack and cyber attack life cycle, here how cyber attack can be started and how cyber attack may or there may be chances of ending, okay. And we'll talk about cyber kill chain, or you can say first we'll talk about kill chain. What is kill chain in terms of military kill chain methodology, and then we will look after cyber kill chain methodology. See, there are some tactics called cyber kill chain methodology defined by Lockheed Martin, Varonis, unified kill chain. There are so many kill chain methodologies out there, but we will going to handle at least 3 different kill chain methodologies. For example, I'll show you here. See, these are the military kill chains. If you talk about military kill chain, there is FFFX, that is what if you talk about kill chain, we have to say find, fix, you can say finish, and fight and finish. And there is a proposed FFFA, that is that is what find, fix, fire, finish, and you can say finally you have to feedback, okay. Sorry Deepak, I will confirm you back, okay. Wait a while. సంయుక్త ఒక్క 5 నిమిషాలు ఆపవా, చాలా సౌండ్ వస్తుంది అంటే వెనకాల, లేకపోతే కొంచెం మెల్లగా చేసుకో, ఓకే. సారీ గైస్, sorry for that background noise. So okay, this is what military kill chain, and there is something called different cyber kill chain. There is something called F2T2 EA, and we will talk all these military kill chain models. Then we will talk about, there are 3 different kill chain models, famous kill chain models that are available. That is Lockheed Martin, Varonis, that is unified kill chain by Paul Pose. So we will talk all these 3 kill chain models. If you go here, this is a basic standardization of Lockheed Martin. If you go here, this is a Varonis kill chain model. If you go here, this is a these 2. This is called unified kill chain model. So we will talk about kill chain models. See what it means. What is meant by kill chain basically? If you talk about kill chain, the kill chain basically concept of identify structure of attack. Basically, if you are understanding kill chain means it's a structure of attack. It consists of different targets. You can say dispensing, you can say force to target, attending, initialization till achieve the targets, okay. So we will come to know all those things, and then we will go and go towards our introduction to MITRE attack. Then we will see what is meant by pyramid of pain and where this attack can be used framework as a framework where we are going to use, and we will also go and see what are the attack matrices. If you see the attack matrices, there are various attack matrices. If you I'll just show you. Yes, see, if you see here, we are going to see something called attack matrices. We are going to handle something called pre-attack Windows, Mac, Linux, cloud, network, container, and there is something called industrial control systems. Then we will talk about mobile. In mobile also we will talk about Android and iOS. Then we will going to understand what is meant by enterprise level and what is meant by a mobile. What is meant by mobile? These two are the mobiles and these three, these 7 are the enterprise level. Then we will go and understand about what is meant by tactics. So there are so many tactics. If you see here in enterprise level, there are more than 14 tactics. It starts from reconnaissance, then to impact. So what is meant by reconnaissance? What kind of tools that can be initialized during this particular reconnaissance? Then we will talk about each and what is the meaning of this ID, how to identify and how to given this ID, why it is not in a TA001002 like this, then why it is TA0043, and why it is TA00, why, how and why this has been given. And prior to this we will also introduction to MITRE attack and all, why, how and when it was formed, why it was formed, what is the, you can say, the thrust of this particular you can say this MITRE attack, and who has tried to set up this kind of you can say NGO kind of activity. Okay, and then we will talk about something called techniques for each tactic. If you click here, see, you will find so many techniques. See, in tactics, if you find this, if you find this is a reconnaissance tactic, in the reconnaissance tactics, what are the technique? See, for each technique you are finding something, this T1515, 1592, and there are 0.001, 0.002 is something called sub techniques. We will talk and understand all major. So you can consider the major. There are so many tactics. If you see the attack structure, enterprise attack structure, see, this is the reconnaissance. There are 10 tactics, 10 techniques for reconnaissance, 7 techniques for resource development, initial access for 9 techniques. We will talk one by one and we will come to know why and how it has been assigned to this particular tactic. These many techniques have been assigned to these tactics, and we will go by one and we will come to even understand in a such a fashion. If you see in my area of concern, we will go and analysis what is initial access, external remote services. See, these are the techniques: spear phishing links, subchain compromise, trust relationship, valid accounts. Then we will talk about one initial case study of initial access. Then we will go to second tactic, that is execution. What is like command line interface through API, command, see, control panel items, PowerShells, where you can come to know sysmon activity, scripting, scheduling, user executions. So how it was happened in the execution, and we will talk about 1 or 2 case studies related to execution. Then we will come back to persistence, where we are going to handle something like bootkit, rootkit, hooking, creating account, and persistence. You can say we'll talk about how persistent that particular person, and you can say how this browser extensions, cookies will be persist. So we will talk about some persistent case study. Then we will go and understanding about privilege escalation. See, what is privilege escalation is generally considering a limited user getting a highest privileges, then is called a privilege escalation. And what is meant by token manipulation, what is meant by man in the middle manipulation, what is meant by DB upgradation, and you can say from DB read only to DB admin, a normal user to power user, normal user to admin user, getting pseudo privileges, handling of scheduled talks, modifying of scheduled talks comes under privilege escalation by a limited user. So we will talk all these in a privilege escalation, and we will talk about some web shells considerably if you are uploading some shells. So for example, you are uploading, how to modify your files without getting your you can say privileges of admin or something, how to tap, how to you can say managing of your timestamps and all. We will talk. Okay, in that case we will talk about the case study related to privilege escalation. Then we will go and looking deep dive towards your defense evasion, where clearing of your command history, compiling after delivery, you can say disabling security tools, so that you are making, see the attacker, how the attacker is trying to set up the execution for hidden himself, as well as creating of hidden user, so that he can hide into some process, he can hide into something, so that he can defend himself, as well as from the you can say antivirus activity, IDS activity, signature collection activity. We will see all those things. Okay, then we will see how credential access will be tried, how to retrieve bash history, brute force attack, how the attacker used to do a brute force attack. Then if brute force attack happens, what is the mitigation? See, in the credential access we come to know the activity of attacker as a brute force. Then what is the mitigation plan? It's same in everywhere. In a defensive mechanism, we will also understand how to mitigate. Then we will also come to know what is the attacking mechanism for the defense evasion. What are the options? See, what is mean by command clear history, clear command history, what is mean by hidden user, how to set up a hidden user and all. We can come to know all these things, and what is the meaning of it. We will talk all this. Stealing web session cookies, credential dumping by using Hydra, by using basic web attacks, by using brute force attack, dictionary attacks, how credential access try to capture the entire credential access of your domain users, your external users, or you can say any weak pointer where weak passwords can be hit. Password spraying can be done by using weak passwords. So we will see all those in a credential access case study. Then we will talk about discovery. Once he find any basic idea of your credential access, network, organization, then he start discovering something called account discovery, more network discovery, more user discovery, browser bookmark discovery, so that, see, this is related to some vertical activity, but account discovery, network discovery, range discovery, it is comes under horizontal scanning, you can say. Then we can go towards lateral movement. After the exploitation happens, after the persistence, after hiding himself, after you can say hopping into some process, then what he wants to do, he wants to crawl from one PC to another PC, or one network to another network, from one organization to another organization, by using application deployment, exploitation, remote services, SSH hijacking. See, we will see these kind of use cases over there. Okay. Then we will start understanding what mean by collection. See, once the lateral movement happens, he might has his own bot network in an attack scenario. See, attacker may do any kind of activity. If we know, then we start scanning those activities, we can monitoring those activity. If we don't know, he start doing something called audio captures, clipboard data capture, data from local hard drives, data from network shares, data from open shares, data from, you can say, open streaming areas. So we will go and understand all those scenarios. Okay. Then we will talk about command and control. Once he collected the data, once everything has been done, then how to forward this data to the attacker's prospect. See, he wants to collect it. Till now he has collected it some organization area only. Some you consider the attacker has compromised one system. Now he wants to dump all the data to there and zipped and kept it ultra zipped format, and everything is ready. Now the size of that particular data, collected data, is something around 10 MB. Consider it is a very small, or you can say the attacker might have done so much of compression, ultra compress has happened. Then how to exfiltrate this? By using command and control. See what kind of commonly port used, suspicious ports for you can say tribal TFTP. Then custom command control protocol. What are the custom command control protocol? What are the uncommonly used? If there is a 4444, Generally this particular 4444 used for, you can say, SMB overflow. So they can execute some command. Then is it used for some data exfiltration? For that, is it possible? It's not possible. But if you are using some 69, if you are using some 24 instead of 23 or 22, it may affect. See, this 23, 24, sometimes you may feel some suspicious as a command control, or you can say if you go beyond the familiar port, something like 4444, 45444, 4 all fives, all 5555 or 55555, something like ports are more suspicious in nature. Then how to find all those things? Okay, then what is mean by exfiltration? We will talk about exfiltration, how to do automated exfiltration by bypassing IDS, outbounding rules, or firewall outbounding rule, UTMs, and what is meant by data compress, data transfer size, how to limit that data transfer by attacker. All this done by attacker. If the attacker do this, then how to defend this? So what are the stages we can identify in terms of exfiltration? So all these, if you start from all our initial access, how the active and passive scanning can be done. What is mean the you can say social engineering can be done. What is mean the supply chain compromise, you can say spread phishing, spear phishing, you can say handling of your you can say consider if someone is there related to your company and he is going and handling their so you do by handling, you can say by giving some bugs, you can say making some internal spies, all those things that you can be get into this initial access. Then what are the different execution methods the attacker can be done? So we will continuously identify so many different kind of techniques, the how attacker will be attacked. Then we will come to understand what is the mitigation process for everything. So if you see here, see for example I am going towards code signing. See, there is something called PowerShell, Apple script. So for this, set a PowerShell execution policy only for signed script. This is one of the most important. I think most of the companies used to set this set you can say, sorry set shells, you can say, what is that command, man? I forget. So PowerShell execution policy, sorry, get execution policy is something like people used to set remote signed, and you can say all signed, and there is something called bypassed. If you kept remote signed, but anyone can hit the system with the remote if WMI is open, Windows management information, or port 5985, that is PowerShell remote execution. If it is open, then attacker can attack. There is a reason, as a hardened part of your PowerShell execution, what people used to do, people used to set up as a set execution policy as all signed, so that the only signed copy of, you can say, PowerShell, how to sign and all, that is again scenario. I will show you how to do those things. And see, there are so many others. See, limit your hardware installation, your software installation, segmentation, intrusion prevention. See, for everything there are so many mitigation policies. So we will just go and look around one by one, and what is the password policy should be set to set up your to avoid your brute force, password guessing, cracking. See, these are one of the important things for according to the cyber security terms. Okay, then there is something called groups. You can find some APTs, then advanced persistent threats. So there are some advanced persistent threats, so you can come to know what is mean by these are the advanced persistent threats. You can say account discovery, acquiring information. See, these are some techniques which are involved towards this APT kind of thing. So if you see here, this advanced persistent threat group has attributed to China. This group has targeted various victims, including not limited media outlets, high-tech companies, and multiple governments. See, these are the groups that have been done compromised. They have did some activities, and what are the mitigation plans, what they have done, what kind of software they have used, the attacker, and from where this particular MITRE got that information. It's keep on updating by so many open source when you can say interested guys, so they used to update, and we can see that is eternal blue is also is there somewhere here. Gold south feet, this is one of the most important advanced persistent threat. So they use command and control, something like captures. They use only basic activity by using phishing, remote access. So these many techniques they were used to compromise. They use these two, REvil and ConnectWise, these two, and they got compromised so many systems. So we can come to know what is this ransomware. REvil is ransomware as a service. So how it was, they were executed these kind of advanced persistent threats. So like that we can come to know all the scenarios related to MITRE attack, and at the end of this course you can come to know how attacker will attack. You can say here we can attacker and all we can consider the adversary. How adversary will take a initial step. This is something like pre-compromised and all. If you talking about matrices, there is some again strategies in prior to pre-attack. They used to have something called reconnaissance and resource development. See, the attacker, or you can say advisory, will try to
sorry, actually,
yeah.
Vishnu.
Hi.
Basically,
Yeah.
just one question. Hi.
Yeah.
So I'm having another meeting within 1 or 2 minutes. So
Yeah.
just I'm asking couple of questions.
Yeah.
Sorry to disturb you, but to this, so you are going to cover this one. So
Yeah.
what is the platform you are going to use? Like how you are going to simulate this attacks? So how you are going to teach this? Like via presentation only, or you are going to show
See,
practically?
it's
Like,
60-40. It's 60% of the presentation and 40% of your attack framework. See, we will set up some Caldera, and you can say this recon tools, that is something like Recon NG, and you can say Spearfish, you can say something like you can say GitHub tools. By using some GitHub tools, we'll set up all this environment. So we will do some attack, and you will feel that phase will be there, something like this. Then we can do by using this is what called threat intel. By using threat intel, I'll come to that area only now. We will do some preparing development environments, or setting up some version control center by using GitHub. We'll set up a project. We will do some activity.
Yes, yes. Yeah. So Vishnu,
Yeah.
I'm dropping off, but this is interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe I will contact through
Sure.
simultaneous team.
Sure.
Okay?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye, Vishnu.
Yeah. Bye. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we will talk about threat intel informed defenses, then cyber threat intelligence analysis, then defense engagement of threats focused on sharing and collaboration, how to do those. Then we will talk about threat intelligence, MITRE attack navigations, industry search for more mature organization. Then we will talk about defense process, analytics process, collected data, analyzed data, and something, see, customization of your analytics. So like this we are going to cover all these strategies, and specifically MITRE attack framework lifecycle is one of the most important you can say asset for the sake of those who are working in use cases, as well as handling your Q radar, specifically preparing any rules, and you can say setting up of your organization to make your system hardened. For those activities, this MITRE attack framework is much more important to identify the kind of attacks that can be possible. You can directly understand the so many different kind of attacks by here. See, if you are finding some active scanning, just listen what is meant by active scanning and kind of network traffic. See, you can also get a mitigation activity here itself. If you click here the attacker, how the attacker was tried, and what is the enterprise level activity and all, then you will find at the end you will find mitigation process too. I think this is not a mitigation activity. This is a very small, that's why it is not showing any mitigation. But if you go for any special tactics, for everything you will get generally execution. If you see here, for example, I am giving. So these are the advanced persistence procedures example, how the attacker had tried, how these many persistence, and there are some mitigation activities. So this will help you out to set up rules, and you have to understand how this can be performed. So this is the main motto of this particular MITRE attack especially. So this is, see, basically it is not an offensive, it is most towards defensive. So people, those who are interested for offensive also, this is one of the great platform to understand how the attack can be initiated. But here we are, how attacker is attacking that, you can say attacker initiate this scenario, then how to mitigate is our main concept of understanding cyber security in terms of ethical manner. So if you can also understand the same MITRE attack in terms of offensive manner, where you can able to identify kinds of attacks as well as kind of tools, as well as you can say kind of scenarios that can be attacked on an organization. And also this is most important for the defend guys, those how this particular attack can be mitigated, what is the scenarios that can be taken into consideration if brute force attack is happened, if DOS attack is happened, if shell execution, or you can say if some activities happen, what is the kind of scenario, what is the activity that you have to be taken to perform to mitigate, to you can say eradicate that situation and recover your system, as well as you to find out the, you can say, digital evidences from the attacking prospect. Those we are going to handle in this particular MITRE attack. Understood guys? So this session will cover all these concept, the agendas. So any doubts related to this particular, just let me know, then I can clarify you guys. Okay.
Hey, Amit this side.
Yeah, hi
I
Amit.
have, yeah, hi. I mean, so I'm excited about this course actually.
Yeah.
So I tried to contact Rohan. So
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah, I got a
So
mail from, I got a message from even Rohan. I'm sorry for that. I not able to contact you. Actually, I kept a message, but it was not gone. It was on hanged mode. That's why I did not note. Okay.
yeah, actually we tried to implement this MITRE framework, okay, in our
Yeah.
SOC environment.
With respect to what? With respect to Curada, with
Yeah,
respect to Splunk.
we yeah we try to make use of Splunk,
Yeah.
okay,
Okay. It's
but
very good.
yeah, but we have faced a lot of resource crunch.
Yeah.
So
Got it.
that is the reason we have to keep this on hold.
Okay.
So apart from that, if we have to start implementing, okay, start
Yeah.
using it in our day-to-day environment.
Yeah.
So I mean, how we can do it? So how this course is going to help in that regard?
Yeah, of course, this course will help you in with regards what kind of credential. Generally, the first and foremost use case that happens is process execution. The process execution, process hopping, schedule. With respect to C, we will also going to talk about one thing I forget to tell you. It is related to, wait. We are also going to handle what are the different TTPs on attacking on Active Directory. If what happens, what are the different techniques, tactics and procedure for Active Directory, and what are the different attacks on endpoint by learning sysmon logs. See, there are some process creation, process handling, process hanging, process deletion, and you can say schedule, you can say schedule PowerShell execution was happened in a remotely. Here PowerShell execution happened, automated PowerShell executed. So all this comes under in which see, there are so many you can say MITRE tactics and techniques were there, and each tactic, in which technique and which procedure this sysmon got affected. Those things you can come to know. For the Active Directory, there are more than 100 plus in a tactics. There are more than 100 plus techniques and procedures are there to handle in a various stages. See, in a stage 1 to stage 14, there are very. We will talk in such a scenario so that you can come to know. And once you start understanding the multiple techniques, see, consider login failure. Multiple login failure comes under which? Credential access. Of course, if you start mapping, then you can come to know where attacker at which stage. The attacker is at which stage, whether he has already compromised your system, whether he is now trying to compromising system, whether the attacker is at the at the lateral movement or exfiltration, so that the attacker already compromised, you did not come to know he did his defense aviation and he did his lateral movement and all. Now while doing the exfiltration and you can say command and control execution, then you come to know then what is the remedial action to be taken, what are the criteria that
Yeah.
has to be taken according to incident response. All this, those talk, see it is most, see if we talk about you can say practical, so it is 60% of theory, I can say directly, because theory will only help you out in this case how the strategy can be set up against the attacker, or you can say against the adversary. Yes or no?
So, hi Vishnu, this is Wahid here.
Yeah, hi Wahid.
Sorry to interrupt. Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry to interrupt.
yeah,
Just I
yeah,
want to ask you, is this covering the use case fine tuning and all? Is there any example to how to fine tune the use
See,
cases you
that's
can share?
what, see, that's what I am saying. For the sake of these two, for the TTPs for Active Directory is a rule case findings only. If you find it
Yeah.
which
Okay,
stage
for
you can find, and I can set up for sysmon log. See, I cannot go by product. If you are asking me the product, then I can tell you that particular TTPs, how in which stage the attacker will signature findings, then hash findings, then it is at which stage, that all those things I can say. But I cannot see, these are the baselines people used to have these two. That's why I do for any organization people used to have the Active Directory and sysmon endpoints. So I can do all these things. These are the baseline. So if you are telling about some network based attacks and all, then I can give you the TTPs, how that rule case, at what stage he is the attacker is, the adversary is. So those things.
Actually, all the techniques which are available in MITRE,
Yeah.
they itself can be considered as use cases.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
What you are
based
saying.
on the different scenario.
That's what we are going to see. If I see the main consideration, if I go and understand MITRE attack, see some people say called MITRE, some people say MITRE, some people say MITRE, but whatever. So if I go and if I am not telling about properly what is reconnaissance, if you don't know reconnaissance, then how can you know what are the different techniques and tactics that are available? What is I am going to explain what is scanning of IP blocks. What is the meaning of vulnerability scanning? Then you can come to a basic standard idea of that particular scenarios. So this is one kind of scenario. If the attacker is doing the attack on like this, then you have to set up a rule accordingly. So if you click this, then automatically, see, not this exactly reconnaissance, because reconnaissance generally not have any kind of remedial. So if you go towards some credential access, not credential access, already we did some activity on this. So we better to go for some collection. So someone trying to do adversary in the middle. So if you click here, see there are some techniques. See there's some mitigation. See there are some disable of features, encryption of this. So this will help you out to mitigate, and you can also finding the strategies how the attacker is attacking by using some see by network flow is determining some ANS DNR. So you just put on this kind of activity as a you can say activity, as you can say use case.
Actually, the main problem is what we have faced. I mean, we have all kind of resources. I mean, techniques available, but where to start, what to start, and
Exactly.
how we are going to process it. Okay, and there is no any kind of video material available in on the internet.
See, if we
That was
talk
that was
about
main
pyramid
problem.
of pain, I'll tell you a basic idea. See, attacker can throw you a change of your hash values very easy, but adding, see, analyzing, adapt, you can say defining TTPs for anything is very tough. We will talk all these things, pyramid of pain. So, attacker perspective, whatever he is doing is quite easy for him. But on the other way around, the defender to find out the exact tactics, exact technique is quite difficult. So that is the reason this MITRE attack came into exist, to make you people understand how the strategy of an attacker or adversary to execute that kind of, by using which kind of, see, he used some doxy proxies traffic, potentially monitor the alter the HTTPS traffic. He uses this particular activity, Kimsky. See, these are the PHP version that he has tried. By using this process that the attacker has tried, so we can just see what kind of attack it is. See, the Kumsky is a North Korea based cyber espionage group that has been active since at least 2012 this group initially uses targeting so and so. See, assessed, see, you can come to know by using power at what area and what kind of group description, what he has done, basically what techniques he has used. See, this attacker, this particular group has used, he has used acquiring information domain, man in the middle, you can say layer protocols by using some different FTP. See, he has used FTP to download additional malware to the target. He has used some email sending. He has used RC4 encryption because it's a quite older version of encryption for for having the domain controller. He has placed scripts for startup folder for persistence. So like that he kept all the strategies. So we once we started understanding the strategies, then we can come to know, so what is the actual scenario of your attack it is. So once you identify the attack, then you can come to know what is the kind of attacks that he has used. If you find any suspicious activity, see for example he has done some denial of service on DNS. So he has tried to overhop your port 53 in such a way so that DNS query will not, you can say, not able to answer that particular activity. So those things will you have to, then you can come to know if the continuous request from port 53, then consider there is a brute force attack on DNS, or you can say so denial of service on DNS. That has happened. If the continuous request was more than 5 minutes on a single destination on port 22, consider there is a denial of service or a brute force attack on SSH servers. So like that you have to understand scenarios. So if something is happening, you may email to exfilter data to C2 servers. So for this you have to set up, is there any outbound rule for, on a UTM, any kind of outbound rule is configured or not, you have to check. If anything goes out from inside to outside, as a network flow is going outside, the very heavy exfiltration is happening, then you have to identify this is the heavy exfiltration. That's why we have discussed about data exfiltration, data limitation, all those things in your you can say exfiltration activity. So we'll talk about schedule transfer, data to cloud, data exfiltration to USB. So all those things. So how this has happened, how scheduled way, how the attack is happens, and how to mitigate the scenarios and all. So this is the once you understand the scenario of attack, then you can also make a scalability on that particular rule, or you can say defining that rule. That is possible. Monitor as a blue team, what is the most common practical way to query MITRE? Answer to
What are the common tool that is required if you want to start make use of MITRE? I mean, apart from the Splunk SIEM, if we want to start using, so what are the other
see, there is something called Caldera is one of the tool that you can utilize. That I'll show you how to map in a automated process, as well as there is something called manual mapping. By using Caldera, you can execute some attack, then how it is mapping in such a fashion so that you can analyze that particular activity.
we can say like it's Caldera, it's a kind of simulation tool.
Simulation tool, yes.
Okay.
That we are going to even I'll in the particular session also I told. See, we are going to set up some initial setup Caldera automated cyber adversary emulation system, that we are going to install and set up. Then we can come to understand the scenario, how the cyber adversary is try to make a, see, actually this particular MITRE attack to identify the attacker's prospect, but we can utilize the maximum from this to identify the threats as well as attacks in a blue teaming manner. So this is more towards red teaming. Basically this is the kind of attacks that can be happens by using so much of different tools and all that we have to. That's why we will show you some of the attacks with respect to initial case studies, initial access and all. So we will show you some attacks, so how attackers can be attacked in such a fashion. So what is the kind of scenario that you can find in the system? Then you can consider if this misbehave happen, the attacker is at this kind of activity. He is using some this kind of tools. He is using some this kind of activity. I mean, using this kind of procedure to attack the system. Then you have to analyze that procedure, what kind of procedure it is. See, it is something like you are making the quality checks on your cyber security. It is something like standardization of ISO standardization standard only. So you have to set up some quality checks on your cyber security. This is something called quality checks of your cyber security. Anything more, guys? I think
Possibly how many techniques we are going to cover? Possibly all.
possibly all is not possible. Even you can see the number of techniques and tactics. So if you see in a tactics, each tactics, if you see in a MITRE framework, you can see there are some 10, 7. See, initial these are the very small, so I can cover all those things. But in each technique, there are again so many things. If you go something like this, is see, once I can start explaining you most of these, and we'll go towards persistence privilege, you can get bored if I start explaining all these. But I can tell you the most common techniques that people used to try to execute with respect to any attack. So we'll take some basic techniques that people used to do nowadays. See, nowadays the containerization is more evolved, and you can say containerization, you can with the terms of Docker as well as Kubernetes. So they are much more interested towards container administration commands. So they used to check what kind of container, if something goes remotely container command executed, then how to define that. So then persistence, there are most important things. And in defense evasion, see, there are 40 techniques. It is highly impossible for everyone. If you are you can say, if you are interested enough to listen, then I can start explaining one by one, and each and everything there are again more than 2, 3, and each technique that is called sub techniques. So there are credential access, there are 15 techniques. So we will talk a major you can say, that's why I have given the basic idea of for each scenario. Initial access, see, these are the basic techniques. These are the basic techniques. These are the basic techniques we can cover. See, here we have given the list of mandatorily handle the techniques, but other than this we are going to cover some other techniques too. Okay, so in that case you can come to know what is meant by privilege escalation and all. See, here we have given only 5 or 6, but it is not I cannot restrict to this much 6, because sometimes I may for explaining this particular technique, I may go for the other technique which is mandatory. Sometimes it is required. So like that, in defense evasion there are 40, but still I am covering around 10. So how to do all those things? For credential there is around 11. Out of that there are 4. So we can cover another 7. If it is 7, it is not 7 exactly, at least 50% I'll try to cover. Okay.
Hi Vishnu.
Hi.
Yeah, so Vishnu, my first question is
Hi.
how here technique ID is being named, right? TID is
Yeah,
there
yeah.
for all.
TID, yeah, yeah.
So how it is being named?
It is named according to the year as well as see, if you see
So
here,
it is being named how? It is being named by
this is
by
by
the
this
team of
particular, yeah,
MITRE?
this particular see, this TA and all these are given by this particular MITRE team only. If you go inside anything,
Okay.
it is 15,
Okay.
is the year 15, and it's the 95th. The year 15, it is denotes some year 15 and all. Now it is reached to
What?
some. See, this was dedicatedly given. This particular is defined on 2015.
Okay.
Got it? Got it? This is, see, this is defined on this 11. See, this is something like they have tried to give this defined on 10. See, not this 10 exactly. In this case, some of the things. See, these are older versions I have given on the serial number wise. Then they come into the existence of now they are trying to give with a technique with a year and the serial number of that year. Now they started. The older versions are still persist with the standard naming. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now they are moving towards in such a fashion. See, MITRE organization also changing, evolving their strategies towards implementing this kind of attack framework. Okay. Now they have new technologies of, see, you will get all these things, something like this. So on the day in this particular 005, they created on and they modified on this day. So you will get everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they are also changing the technique ID name and all, right?
Exactly, according to the requirement.
And here you have shown pyramid of pen.
Yeah,
So why TTPs are on top?
because considerably TTPs are top, because identifying the threat is something quite difficult for anyone to see. Consider, say this, now you can come to know by understanding here.
They're very advanced. That's
Yeah,
why.
exactly. See, attacker. See, sometimes you may not know the attack has been happened. See, you may know so many attacks. There are some such attacks may be there in the world. You may not know. Even no one knows. The attacker only knows that particular attack. Then who will going to create that technique, tactic, and procedure for that activity? There are see still see in every day the attack is keep on handing in every second. In while we are talking, there might be some lakhs of attacks going in between the cyber world. Though these attacks are getting mitigated by using so much of cyber security team and all, but still attacks are getting started, attacks are getting exploited, attacks are getting success. How it's possible? Because new attacks are getting evolved, because they are finding new vulnerabilities in the latest technologies, finding the loopholes, finding the hooks to enter into the system, and getting so much of leverage to crawl across your network and all. So identifying TTP is such a huge task. It is tough task for everyone, not only blue team, and even for the red team also. Because the blue teaming, whatever here we are as a, if you are considering you are a blue teaming member, you are trying to mitigate and eradicate that particular attack and stop that attack. If you are stopping, then he wants to hit back you again. But he wants to get a new technique, then only he can hit back you. Otherwise, how can he hit back? Then you are the winner, he is a loser. So in this case, consider if he again comes with a new technique, then you have to defend with a new eradication, or you can say stoppage mechanism. Then again, now this is now your turn. Now ball is at your court. You have to handle that particular technique, and how to you can say either you have to make it as a monitoring mode, or you have to eradicate mode, you have to recover mode. Something you have to do. So already people have got so much of ransomware and all, but still the new ransomware still is coming. Though we are keep on cracking so many crypto analysis by using crypto analyzers and all, we keep on you can say dumping so many ransomware, but still the new ransomware is still coming, because they are finding the new method of technology. That is, see, that finding of technique is so much you can say tough for anyone to get into your system, and you to identify that is more now. And Pravir Kumar Sinha, yeah guys, this course duration is total of 8 hours, total of
Yeah,
8
got it.
hours. Yeah.
And another question,
Yeah.
just I want to clarify on
Yeah.
the more questions.
Yeah.
So same techniques are being used also. Like if I go to the MITRE ATT&CK framework,
Yeah.
so there are 14 tactics and there are 200 techniques.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
so under these tactics, there might be the similarity between the techniques, right?
Yeah,
Like
of
what
course.
defense evasion is using, like creation of the account.
Yes, sir.
Even persistence can use that.
Exactly. There are some techniques that you can be used in a two different scenarios also. The tactics may be differs, but technique may be same. The possibility by, see, in a defense evasion, you are already entered into the system, you are directly creating a new user. That is. But if you are in a other system, you are trying to do a remote code execution to create a user. Creating user is a common activity, but remotely, and you are already inside the system by you are already you got privilege escalation. Now you are creating a system, and you are limited to that particular system. Now you are creating a user. These are the different strategies again.
Okay, I also wanted to know, like there are multiple sub techniques under
Yeah,
techniques.
exactly.
So those will also be covered under techniques, right?
See, if we cover that particular technique, then of course under that particular technique we have to cover that sub techniques.
Okay, so how it works and all. Okay, that's the point I had to know. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Nishant. So anything more, guys? So the course
Yeah,
duration is
you mentioned about you mentioned about having eight what do you say classes. So
8
in
hours
how
of
many
class.
weekends are you going to cover them?
So every week 3 to 5 is the timing. So 2 hours per day we can cover in 2 weekends, that is Saturday Sunday, Saturday Sunday, or else we'll start up at Sunday and Saturday Sunday, then Saturday. Either we cover in 3 weeks in a such a fashion, or else we will cover in 2 weeks as a Saturday Sunday, Saturday Sunday. If people wants a
Yeah,
weekend in
two
the
weeks,
system,
2 weeks sounds better. 2 weeks is okay, I think.
yeah, if people want, sometimes what people want Saturday Sunday, they want one day to be free, then what we do start from Sunday, then we started Saturday Sunday, then again Saturday. Then what happens, only 1 week you will be fully engaged. The other 2 weeks what happens, in a Saturday and other day around in the Sunday, you will get some relaxation to get you yourself get energized. Yeah,
So when it
recordings
will
will
start?
from next Saturday, that is 5th, I think.
Okay. After that, again, there will be sessions after completing that, right? In next 1 month.
Means,
Like I'm asking if I can't join this time, so I can join in the next time. Like if you take the course, this one, right?
yeah, of
Because
course,
I have
it's a
some
keep on.
time issue, time constraint
Yeah,
on Sunday. So yeah.
yeah, no worries. You can join. Hopefully, this is a continuous batch, so you can keep on joining. No worries.
Okay. Okay. Fine.
Yeah,
That's what I wanted to
yeah,
know.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. Thank you, Nishant. So, guys, this is something more related to.
Hi, who are the intended participants here? Is only from the person who is working in purely technical with respect to SIM and all those things, or is it from the management perspective as well?
So you can join if you are a manager, then also as a SOC manager, or you can say being a non-technical guy, those who are going to handle incident responding, or you can say you are the member of some incident response team member, then you can also join. That's not a big deal. As a SOC manager and all people, those who are as a level of SOC manager, or you can say CISO, they won't join. They won't do any kind of technical activity, but they should know the kind of attacks that are available, or you can say explode across the world. That has to be there, because if you being a SOC manager, or you can say CISO, you should know the kind of attacks that are happening across the world. That is possible.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Anything more, guys? So
8 hours will be very less, as 8 hours will be less for the different topics which we covered so far.
see
For demo session itself, it took more than it took almost 1 hour, right?
see, we have a technique to you can say cover in a such a fashion that you can. So once you keep on understanding all these things now, then you can you yourself say, so need not to worry about all the techniques. So we can go with 1 or 2 techniques of each and everything, then we can understand. Now if just by seeing you can come to know what are the different techniques available, what kind of different tactics available, what kind of different procedures that can be made against that. So whenever you get an option, then you just go and look after. See, this particular MITRE framework is something like continuous evaluation methodology. You should come back to this particular MITRE framework, and you should learn the things, and you should go back and you should implement. This is a day to day and a keep on going activity. It is not something like a day activity or a week activity, then you have learned everything, then you go and start implementing. It is not possible. I think, Amit, I am right.
Yeah, my expectation is like I want to start using in my day-to-day investigations. Okay, and that is the reason I'm about to join.
See, if I tell something, for example, I have given say for example, I am a Windows administration guy. Those who are going to teach you Windows administration, can you implement as a training session exactly in a real-time production? It is not possible, I think, because in a training
No, no,
session,
no. My question. My Yeah, my question is like we are having so many security tools. Okay, I
Yeah,
mean
of
different
course.
set of platforms that we have. We are
Yes.
getting almost different logs from almost 84 indexes,
Yeah,
security appliances. Okay,
got it.
and out of that, once we start investigation, then while mapping those different techniques or tactics, okay, that's become very confusing or impossible things. I mean that was the main
See,
hurdle for me.
See, you can't, according to me, you can't map a rule. You can't map on indexes. You have to map on rules. Whatever you are creating that rule, that will be something like stage 1 rule, stage 2 rule, stage 3 rule, stage 4 rule. That is, you have to map in such a fashion. So if something matches that rule, then you can come to know that if the adversary is kind of a remapping standard, if it is in something like that, then you can come to know those activities. It is not like you are integrating some 86 or 87 indexes, or you can say log sources, or onboarding some 100 log sources. You are keep on adding. Where do you map that rule segment? You have to add on rule segment only. You have to
For an
find.
example, yeah, I would like to take one example like phishing. Okay,
Yeah,
we have one use cases like phishing.
yeah,
So while working, so I got an incident. Okay, I'm working on incident.
yeah.
So, so while working on that, we do have I mean SOP in place that we follow. Apart and that SOP is not helping us. Okay, to find out the root cause. So in that regard, if I'm trying to refer MITRE, okay,
Yeah.
so so where to start, what which technique to pick up, what tactics to be referred. I mean that's the main confusion. So that is what I'm expecting from this course.
Okay. So in this scenario, according to you, we'll take a lead, basic lead of yours only. So if we talk starting about phishing, yes or no?
Yeah, yeah, right.
Uh, we can go with this. It will give a better and so where this so your scenario is phishing. This is the phishing. You are at which
Yeah,
substance? You are in an initial access substance, and there are three different kind of phishing technologies are there as a spear phishing attachment, spear phishing link, and spear phishing services. So out of these, what is your scenario first and foremost? This is first one is email with a malicious attachment. The second one is email with a link that you have to be routed back, or you can say it is something like it will be asking you to click on that link to get into some other page. And the third one is it is a service. He is set up in some service, so that if you, as soon as you click, you will see, for example, there is a Facebook link that is created by some person automatically internally, which is creating so much of messy on the behind. So it will start capturing your username and passwords. So that techniques, if you are getting those activities, then you can come to know either that was a link, or that was a you can say malicious website, or that may be a service. That according to that you can map, that is of you can say initial access, this phishing 15660010020003, like that, where it is.
yeah, but this is only for initial access. Okay,
Yeah.
so
See,
so
of course, malicious. Phishing is a initial access activity only. Those who wants to try to capture your emails, passwords, trying to get your something like credentials of your DBs and all, where people used to throw some link and try to tell you or tell them to log in into that particular session. That is the initial access activity only.
yeah, okay, okay, got it. So
So
that will be
like,
the initial one. Yeah, later on, if they want to move to the next level, like if they want to
yeah,
have control, remote
yeah,
control of system,
yeah.
they will try to refer different tactics.
Then
Okay,
it will
got
be
it.
again, then again. So then in the particular rule you have to add initial access, that is TA001. Out of this 1566 of 001, one technique has been added. Then in this case, what you come to know, the attacker has tried first phishing, then he got a privilege escalation towards your by using some activity, then you are mapping multiple tactics over there to find, yes, he has tried this, then he was succeeded, then he enter into the other tactics, then he succeeded, he then enter into the other tactics. Like that you need to map. This is the
Yeah.
standard technology.
Yeah. Basically, we need to narrate a story. Okay. That
Yeah.
will help us to get the root cause.
Exactly,
Okay.
exactly. This is something you are going to narrate and you are going to understand the scenario of attack only. From this to this, from this to impact, you are going to set up the entire, you yourself imagine the attacker is now done active scanning, then he got some list of IPs, then he entered, he tried all WMA activities, he tried all initial you can say establishing accounts, trying to get remote intrusion and all those activities that has to be done. Like that only the actually the scenario of attack, or you can say, these come into exist.
Yeah, yeah. Apart
Yeah,
from that, this will be really helpful for building new use cases. Okay,
exactly,
based on the different threat landscape. And the third one, like this will be really helpful to build up the hypothesis that is
exactly.
required for threat.
Mainly
Yeah, right.
hypothesis, and mainly hypothesis, use case analysis, use case understanding is also one of the other aspect.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
then, yeah, yeah, that's all for my side, guys, and please do visit SIEM Intelligent and the Hacktivist. See, I'll share the links. SIEM Intelligence and the Hacktivist site. You will get so much of site. You can say you will get so much of training sessions that are available with a very cheap of cost, with a very tremendous expertise that we are available. And this is my number. You can contact me at any point of time. And the other number is this. I'll share the other one also. 7737131337. This is Rohan's our administration member, HR guy. Though he is very helpful to, you can he can also explain the strategies that we are going to implement. And this is my you can say Vishnu the Hacktivist at gmail.com is my another mail ID. If you have any doubt, just throw me a message, we will help you out. Okay,
Thank you, Vishnu.
yeah,
Yeah.
thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for your precious time, and be in touch. See whether you people join or not join, that is really the other thing. You will get tremendous exploration experience, and you can say even we can help you out for any kind of analysis kind of activities. We will help you out, and that is not bothering whether you are joining or not joining. Okay, thank you so much for this session, and thank you everyone once again. And you can say be cyber power at your you say companies, and make yourself so much fit in your cyber threatening. Thank you so much, guys. Bye.
Yeah.
Good night
Bye.
all. Bye.
Thank you.
Good night.
Bye. Good night.
Bye all.
Bye.